ரேடியோ சிட்டி கேட்டுட்டு இருக்கீங்க. குட் மார்னிங். நான் உங்க ரேடியோ சிட்டி லாயா. இன்னைக்கு ஸ்டார் எக்ஸ்பிரஸ்ல நம்ம கூட யார் இருக்காங்க அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா ரொம்ப ஒரு இன்ஸ்பைரிங் ஸ்பெஷல் பர்சன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லலாம். இவங்க 4 இயர்ஸ்ல இருந்து மியூசிக் கத்துக்க ஆரம்பிச்சு மெடிசன் பண்றதுக்கு சான்ஸ் கிடைச்சும் இல்ல எனக்கு பாடதான் பிடிக்கும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு தன்னோட பேஷனை ஃபாலோ பண்ணி பாட்டு முறையா கத்துக்கிட்டு 4 வருஷத்துல ஏஆர் ரஹ்மான் சார், இமான் சார், ஜிவி பிரகாஷ் சார், ஹாரிஸ் ஜெயராஜ் சார், இளையராஜா சார் இவங்க எல்லாருக்கும் பாடிட்டாங்க. இதுதான் என்னோட ட்ரீம், இதான் கோல் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி அச்சீவ் பண்றவங்க ரொம்ப கொஞ்சம் பேர் தான். அதுல இவங்களும் ஒருத்தங்க அப்படின்னு நம்ம சொல்லலாம். இன்னைக்கு நம்ம கூட இருக்கிறது சாஷா திருப்பதி. வெல்கம்.
வணக்கம். Thank you for having me.
ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சொல்லுங்க, your journey started with radio in Vancouver. So 4 yearsல இருந்து இப்போ வரைக்கும். So how has your journey been?
Yeah, so from the age of 6, I remember singing. Before that, when I was around 3 and a half, then my mom tells me that I used to sing the aarti with her when she used to do her prayers in the morning. I started singing on the local radio channel. People heard me. People started really liking my work. I kind of got into public demand because I was a little kid and every auntie and uncle would be listening to their radio sets. Okay. That was noticed, and then people wanted to see me live. So then at the age of 8, I started singing live, and after that Pandit Jasraj ji heard me and he told my parents that you should take your daughter to India to train. So my parents brought me to Allahabad where I trained for about 6-7 years on and off, and then I went back to Canada. I was studying, pursuing my pre-med. Then I dropped out after I heard Rahman sir's guru, Mani Ratna Rahman sir. The irony. And then I came to India on my own this time, and I started singing jingles, I started singing for advertisements, I started singing for little movies here and there, and then 2013 is when Rahman sir happened, Coke Studio, season 3, and no turning back after that.
It's amazing. It's been only 4 years since you started singing in Tamil, but you've already sung with ARR sir, Ilayaraja sir, Iman sir, GV Prakash sir, Harris sir. So எல்லா டாப் மியூசிக் டைரக்டர்ஸ் ஓட நீங்க பாடிட்டீங்க. So தமிழ்ல how is the journey so far?
God, I am so in love with the language. I mean, I'll be honest. Initially, when I used to listen to a lot of Tamil songs in Canada, which a Tamil friend of mine used to send me, I always used to think it's so complicated. There's so much rolling of the tongue. There's so much happening. It's a workout, for the mouth. Yeah. But as I started singing Tamil songs and as I started understanding the meaning behind, especially a lot of Tamarai ma'am's work and Vairamuthu sir's work, when I started understanding the lyrics,
it's Tamarai.
I'm sorry. I always say that wrong. Tamarai ma'am. So when I started hearing their work, and when I started understanding the meaning behind, and I've seen both of them to be having a very purist approach to their writing, I was blown away by, the meaning that a lot of their work carries. And apart from that, I love the versatility of the language. When I'm listening to something like I don't know, any Tamil song, a softer Tamil song maybe like, when I listen to that, the way the lyrics chop up and they come in, or when you're listening to a song like a Sokiyama, when you're listening to something like this, there's so much chop to the language, there's so much bite to it. At the same time, there's so much flow to it. It's such a versatile language, I feel, and I don't see that in Hindi happening as much, so which is why I have a lot of respect for, and I enjoy singing in Tamil.
That's very nice. Tamil ரொம்ப கம்மியா தான் பேசுறீங்க. In fact, தமிழ் அவ்வளவா பேசுறதே இல்ல. But even then you've spoken about Tamil language so beautifully. That's very nice. 6 வயசுல இருந்து சிங்கிங் தான் உங்களுக்கு பயங்கரமான பேஷனா இருந்திருக்கு. அப்புறம் ஹார்மோனியம், கிட்டார், ஆப்பிரிக்கன் இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்ஸ் இதெல்லாம் வாசிக்க ஆரம்பிச்சீங்க. So what more can we expect from Shasha in the future? Will she just be a singer or compose பண்ணுவீங்களா?
Future, I'm not sure. As of now, my future is just music. I do compose, and I have done a few albums which I've composed, and I've had Mohit Chauhan, Palak Muchal, Javed Ali, Mohammad Irfan, a lot of singers who've already sung for me. So that's happened, and I would love to do more. I mean, if I get the right medium, if I get the right record labels who understand my taste in music and who understand the sound that I like, then it would be great to release something with them. Growing up, I did sing, but my parents made it a point to put me into a lot of other things. I was a provincial swimmer. You can tell by the broad shoulders. Yes. So I was a swimmer. Then I was into Aikido, which is a form of martial arts. I was into soccer. I used to read a lot. I was a voracious reader. I was into student council. I was into a lot of leadership endeavors. I used to teach music. I was a tutor as well. I used to teach mathematics and sciences.
Wow. You dropped pre-med and then your first song was in Kochadayan Hindi. What did Rahman sir say first when he saw you?
He asked which one of us choir singers was Shasha. So that's the first thing he said. And I thought I sang really badly. So I wasn't putting my hand up. I wasn't saying it's me. I was hoping someone would say that, So when no one put their hand up, I put my finger up and I was like, it's me. So the next day I asked Sir, sir, if you don't mind me asking, why did you ask which one of us was Shasha? Are you kicking me out of the choir? And then he's like, no, actually, one of my engineers played me some of your work and I feel your voice sounds like a musical instrument. And he was referring to the duduk, which is an Arabic instrument. So I was like, okay.
Okay. A Mr. Minor enna paakra A.R. Rahmanoda paadineenga. How did it happen?
A Mr. Minor happened in Sir's room in Singapore. So we were doing a show and Sir's entire team had flown, his recording team had flown down from Chennai to Singapore. And Sir's right hand, Sami Yana, just before the show, he met me and he said, Sir has called you after the show. I thought I am in trouble. I was so bad. Whole show, I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen after the show? Oh my God, what's going to happen after? I thought Sir was going to give me a dose. You sang horribly in the show. No, that didn't happen. Luckily, I went upstairs and after the show, and Sir's entire team was there, and we recorded A Mr. Minor in his room. And there was a setup, his engineers were there, the microphone was there. Sir was recording himself. Sir said, give her the lyrics and play the song to her. So I heard the song. I ended up singing the entire Pallavi of the song. And that was, Hey Mr. Minor enna paakure என்னிரவுகளை இம்சையாக்கு நினைக்கிற காற்றின் காலில் கொலச கட்டி அனுப்புற காதலை கை குலுக்கி இழுக்கிற. So this was a song.
Okay. Amazing. It's amazing.
I loved how Sir recorded the song. This was such an amazing experience. He let me do my thing. He let me play around with the composition. He really pushed me when there was that one little bad. There was this one little quick run and I probably did it 25 times before Sir got the right take. So yeah, that was really fun. I loved recording A Mr. Minor.
That's very nice. So after Kavya Talaivan, your collab with Rahman Sir was very steady. Even in OK Kanmani and the rest of the songs. So how was the reception in Tamil? Like, people ungala paakumbodhu neenga Shasha Tirupathi appadinu avangalukku theriyudhu. So how is it?
The reception after Rahman Sir, I can't thank audiences and the masses enough because being a Kashmiri, having been raised in Canada, Tamil is not my first language obviously, and I've received so much love from people here. I get very emotional when I talk about just the love that Tamil audiences have given me because it was least expected, honestly. It was just, I never thought that, Sir would give me a song in Tamil and suddenly people would, start calling me and start liking me. And I remember when OK Kanmani had released, I had around 3,000 friend requests overnight. And I was so overwhelmed. I went and I accepted everyone. And there was a lot of spam in there as well. So my friends are like, what is this on your page? Look at this going up. And I started deleting requests. So I remember it took me like a month to actually find the time to go back. And I went crazy when I was accepting. So I think 1 hour I went accepting it. So I think I ended up accepting 2,000, 3,000 requests in a day.
Okay. What do you feel when you think that there are so many people who love your work and are big fans of you? Neenga Canada la irundhu vandirnalum.
I'm so grateful to God. I'm so grateful to my parents for the kind of environment I've had at home. And I'm incredibly, incredibly indebted to Rahman Sir because what I loved about him is that he never thought that, is she a market singer? You know how people say, is it a market singer? I wasn't a market singer. I was not a singer that people knew. I was not a singer that people would probably go and say that, there's this new singer, you should try her. That's not what happened with me and Rahman Sir. He heard me, he believed in me on his own accord and he called me for work. So that's just, call it divine intervention, call it luck. I don't know. I don't believe in luck personally, but whatever you want to call it, anything that's positive. It happened that way. And I remember I used to worship Rahman Sir for 12 years. I had him in my temple. I used to show him the diya and agarbatti every day. So I've really prayed to work with him. And I used to pray to God and say, God, just give me one song with Rahman Sir. Just give me one song. It's like my dream to have one song with him. And then suddenly God just got really happy with me, I guess. I'm just so grateful.
That's very nice. Hope makes everything good happen. That's what I think you're trying to say. So, So we spoke about working with GV Sir, Rahman Sir, Iman Sir, Harris Sir. But everyone's dream is to work with Ilayaraja Sir. And adu ungalku nadandirukku. Dream come true ஆயிருக்கு உங்களுக்கு. So how did it happen?
So Vasu sir had called me for that, and he said, "Ki, are you in Chennai?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Can you come to the studio?" I was like, "Sure." I went, and this was at Prasad, and I entered a room where Raja sir and Kamal Hassan sir were sitting, and I thought I was going to faint. So Raja sir was sitting with a harmonium right next to him, and Kamal Hassan sir gave me this beautiful smile. I was like, oh my god. And then I went and I sat beside Raja sir, and he told me to sing a couple of lines, and he told me to do an alap, and I did it. And then he told Vasu sir, "Ki, record her." So then I went and I recorded. Then Raja sir came back and he made changes and everything, and this was the song In the Varka from Amma Kanak.
Okay, my god. எவ்வளவு கஷ்டப்படுறாங்க வெளில, எவ்வளவு பேர் எப்படியாவது ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி கிடைக்குமான்னு, but you just got it like, yeah, your prayers were answered, as you said. These days everyone has started singing, actors, actresses, irrespective of whether they've learned or not. And then உங்கள மாதிரி people இருக்காங்க, மியூசிக்க ஃபுல்லாவே கத்துக்கிட்டு வந்தவங்க. So how do you see this trend of people who don't know music singing in movies? Like standard கீழ போகுது அப்படி நினைக்கிறீங்களா? Or do you think the industry is growing because everyone is participating?
I don't feel the standard is going low, yeah. I think, like, I recently heard Pariniti Chopra, the actress. I heard her sing a song and I fell in love with her. I just felt there was so much for me to learn from how she's done. And she's done tremendous justice. She's got such a beautiful voice and she's delivered really well. Similarly, I've heard Alia sing, and I loved the innocence in her voice. So all I'm saying is that if you go to the West, there are singers who also act, or actors who also sing, who also compose, who write their own songs. They play the guitar. I think everything comes into a bigger circle, which is being an artist. If you're singing a song, sing it in tune. If you can sing it in tune, and if you can give it soul. You know, soul is the component which is very important in any art form. Be it acting, be it painting, be it singing. Everything requires soul. If you can express with what you're doing, I think it's a beautiful thing if, you know, an actor can also do justice to singing. And there are actors who've been doing justice to songs. So there's nothing wrong. And I think it should be the other way around as well. It can be. I mean, if a singer is expressive in her expressions or his expressions, if they can act well, if they can emote emotions through their eyes, through their body language, then I think they should also be very open to acting, because again, it's an art.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Asked you to sing your Nane Varigireen song. Could you please do it?
Nane Varigireen Kelamal Tarugireen நினைவுகளை மறக்கிறேன், நிகழ்கணம் மறக்கிறேன், இடம் பொருளை மறக்கிறேன், எது மறக்கிறேன். நானே 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 வருகிறேன்.
That was very nice. Thank you so much for coming to our interview today.
Thank you.
With me, Radio City Laya on Star Express.
Radio City, Tamil, எங்கேயும் எப்பொழுதும்.